We're OnSpot. Basically, we're kind of a little more simpler than your last presentation, but we're basically a new option for combining accessibility and portability to self-storage. So self-storage, the main thing that you probably think of is the long rows of aluminum buildings. They've been around since the early 90s, and it's kind of an easy way to store your things. For owners, it's considered a solid investment. It's low overhead, and it generates a consistent cash flow. According to Reno, a real estate data analytics company, it's one of the lowest value rates out of any real estate investment at 8%. The reason being is it's considered recession-proof. Economy does good, people buy more things, they need a place to put them. The economy does bad, people usually downsize, they need an inexpensive place to store their things. So the problem with this industry is basically your limited options that you have for self-storage today. I'm going to walk you real quickly through my experience and where I really realized this problem. So my now fiance was moving into my apartment, and we knew about a year from now we were going to get a house, so we need an inexpensive place to store our things. So we started researching some options. We came across Pods, which was great because they had a brand new warehouse in South Reno, and I thought it was awesome because we could store our things and they could help us move as well. So they wanted to charge me $199 for a 16-foot unit compared to your traditional style facility, which is at $149. Now that's a pretty good chunk of change, especially when you're trying to save for a house. And then the deliveries. In total, we needed a total of 6 deliveries, to her apartment, to my apartment, back to the facility. Then when we moved again in a year, back to my apartment, to the house, back to the facility. So at $80 a piece, that's another $480. So the cost is really adding up for this. The last thing that really stopped us from getting this is basically you need to give them 24-hour notice to access anything within your unit. Basically, and you need to do it during their hours, which are Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Now I work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and I have a hard enough time getting to the bank on my lunch break, let alone trying to move my patio furniture. So I didn't think that was going to work for us. So this option is both pretty expensive, and I don't like being restricted to my own things. So we decided to go with your traditional style facility, which saved us over $1,000 in the year compared to Pods, which was nice because we had that daily access. We visited about once per week, and we took some items, put some items in, took some items out, mainly just for daily use. So we used it for about a year, and then we had enough money to run our house. So we went to UHaul, we got our moving truck, which could be a hassle in its own. But we moved everything out of the apartment, went to the storage unit. And this is the part that really made me mad, is when I open up the storage door, I see everything already packed up, basically like it should be in a moving truck, already ready to go. But what I had to do was basically move everything out of it and put it into the moving truck and then bring it to the house and unload it again. So this process was basically pretty exhausting, and I felt like I was moving my things multiple times. Again, if anybody's moved, I'm sure everybody has, it's very time consuming and it's exhausting. It usually takes the whole day. So the only 2 options you have for this are basically you can either save money and you spend your hours and your time at the storage facility loading and unloading, or you save time and you spend your money with Pods and basically be restricted to your own things. Now, people might not think this is a problem and that moving is just stressful in general and that you just have to go through that, but people also thought going to the store to rent a movie wasn't a problem either until it was actually brought to them. This is where we basically came up with OnSpot. So what we want to do is combine the flexibility of your portable units with your traditional style layout. But instead of your long rows of aluminum buildings, each unit is portable and has its own spot within a secure outdoor facility at the same price point as your traditional style storage facility. So you'll have your daily access, being able to come and go as you please, adding or removing items. But we can also pick up the unit and bring it to your house for the same price as a one-day truck rental. So there's no more hours spent at the facility loading and unloading. You can basically do that all at the comfort of your own home. And basically your storage unit becomes your moving truck, which basically creates the ultimate flexibility. Now, not only is this ultimate flexibility for the customer, but it's also for the business as well. With each unit being portable, we could basically move these units to fit any piece of land we want to. The best part about it is we can adjust to the change in demand. So say there's not as much demand for the boat and RV parking, we can simply remove the spots and add in the units. 5 years down the road, if there's not as much demand for the 16-foot units and more of a demand for 8-foot units, we can break down the 8-foot to the 16-foot units and add in the 8-foot units. If the opportunity to expand arises, we can simply build out and add in the more units. But the best part about it is each unit can already be pre-committed to. So as soon as it hits the lot, it's already generating revenue. Now the market. According to 2018 Self-Storage Almanac, average facility basically has over 3/4 residential users 19% being business, the remaining being student or military. Now they keep student or military in there because if you're next to a military base or a university, those numbers can increase drastically. Now the residential users within that, what we found was there's not one specific demographic that uses self-storage. Basically, it's an even distribution amongst age, income, rent, own, married, single, kids, no kids. Basically, everybody uses it. Within the business segment, basically the two highest users are your personal professional services, which are contractors, lawyers, cleaning companies, basically mainly all your small businesses. Now the Reno market. Now the Reno market has been doing really good in this industry lately. Since 2015, we've averaged a 95% occupancy versus the national average of 90%. One reason being is that Reese Inc., the real estate data analytics company, they've ranked Reno first in the 5-year forecast for occupancy. Obviously, a major reason for this is what Reno has seen lately, the growth in the area, the increase in population, increase in employment, and then also the housing shortage as well. The majority of people moving here are going into apartments because they can't afford the house because of the shortage. So more than likely in a year or two, they're going to be finding a new place to live. Another aspect that really other areas don't have is the recreation here. People obviously love the Reno area who live here, mainly being because we have Lake Tahoe, camping, tons of BLM land, but a lot of those activities come with the large item purchases. So basically, you need a place to put these. Narrowing down to a specific facility, the 2018 Self-Storage Almanac basically is 70% of users drive 19 minutes or less to their facility. Within Reno, basically a 5 miles takes 8 to 15 minutes to drive. An industry standard when doing a feasibility study is the concentric circle approach, which basically you draw a 1, 3, and 5 mile radius around the facility to kind of find out your primary market area. So that 5 mile range, especially less than 15-minute drive, will really be a strong primary market area within the Reno area. I sent over my business plan. I also included in that was a feasibility study that I conducted for a specific spot within the South Reno area. What I found was basically out of the 11 competitor facilities within the 5 mile range, they've averaged occupancy of 96.9% from the stabilized facility. And I found out that area is basically shorted by 80,000 rentable square feet that they're short by. 3 of the properties within 2 miles were at 100% occupancy, and 2 of them stated they stopped taking wait lists because nobody's moved out for the last year. So the demand is there. The reason I chose the South Reno area is mainly because of the type of developments that are going on down there. A lot of them have HOAs, and some of them come with a lot of restrictions with those HOAs. Basically, you need to keep your house pretty tidy. Some of them actually require you to park in your garage. So basically, you need to conserve space within your garage. So what are you going to do? Basically, get a storage unit for that extra stuff. I've recently been shopping around to other areas, not just South Reno. Once I found out about, I'm sure you hear about the Opportunity Zone, which this actually is a great business for that because it generates a consistent cash flow. Basically, you can put your cap gains into that, and then after the 7 years, get your 15% reduction from your taxable cap gains. Not only that, but you're not paying the taxes on it until 2026. And then also after the 10 years, you're not paying any taxes on it because it's exempt after the 10 years within the Opportunity Zone. So my team consists of my fiance and I. Between us, we have a bachelor's degree in psychology and an MBA in marketing. We're both sales managers, and a large part of our job is account management and revenue and occupancy management, which translate perfectly over to the self-storage area. We also, the specific area that we work for has a high demand for customer service, which we've taken a lot of training classes through. So we already have a competitive advantage over your mom and pop shops, which aren't too strong in this area. I would know because I've called and visited all of them within the past year. And then basically our needs basically consist of the initial cash for the startup, and then hopefully connections with developers that can really help us find our piece of land. And